Hey guys, Taylor and Scott here at Edmond Music, and today we're talking about crazy things we've seen working in a music store.
Theft, drugs, and rock and roll.
Hey guys, Scott and Taylor here at Edmond Music.
I'm Scott.
I'm Taylor.
You think people figured that out yet by now? We thought it'd be fun to kind of do a video about crazy things we've seen in the music store. I mean, it's music. It can bring out all kinds of people. I love it.
I think retail in general, people see some stuff, but
I've worked retail my whole life. I mean, but before this, I managed a record store for 10 years too. So that's why I love coming to work every day. You just never know what's going to come through the door. Yeah,
you never know. I think certainly with guitars, some of the crazy stuff that we've seen has to do with theft. There was about 6 months ago. There was a guy that comes in here and usually very nice, very well behaved, kind of mild mannered.
It progressively got a little stranger though with him. So
that's true. But usually he would come in and like sit on the floor and play guitar for like 20 minutes. And he did that, but in a different area. So I noticed that he came in, he picked a Taylor Academy series off the rack, and he sat on the floor, but it was adjacent to our back door, which was unusual, right? And I was off doing something else, and the next thing I know, just out of the corner of my eye, I see that back door swing like that, and I'm like, ooh, and I knew exactly what was going on. So I took off, and I'm running out the back door, and I see him running with the guitar out the parking lot, right? And those things just kind of take over. It's like fight or flight, because everybody will tell you, don't do that. You're not, let him go, right? But in the moment, you just adrenaline's running and I'm running after him, right? And I caught up with him.
He looks over his shoulder and sees Taylor running. He didn't have very much.
I bit the dust in the parking lot, and I still got up and I'm running. I wear these pretty much every day. These are not tennis shoes to run in.
It's just funny to me though. He looks over his shoulder, and instead of trying to keep running, he's like, I'm gonna go and stop.
Well, he stopped, right? I got up after I fell down. I got up and I go up and I catch up to him.
He probably felt bad for you.
And I was like, dude, what are you doing? And he was like, man, I'm really hard on my luck. This is the only way I can get money. I said, it's not gonna make your life any easier. Just give me back the guitar. And he did. And I take the guitar and I walk back in the store. And then we call the cops. The cops catch up with him and arrest him down the road. Turns out he had 6 knives on him.
I watched him sitting there unloading this guy, and he was loaded with all kinds of weapons.
And I'm just glad he didn't immediately turn around and shank me. But it worked out okay. And I had my superhero moment of running him down. But it could have been really bad.
So these are great running shoes.
Anyway, if you're ever in a similar situation,
it's not smart to run after the guy.
Don't run after the perp.
We learned from our lesson.
You're not supposed to.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's one from me. What do you got, Scott?
One of my favorites. One morning we're sitting here at the counter, and this car pulls up. It was a Range Rover, and you see this guy hop out, and he's wearing I thought it was scrubs from the hospital. But turns out he had checked himself out of a hospital. He was wearing the hospital gown. Yeah.
Okay.
And he had the plastic tabs on his bracelets on his wrists and everything. And he walks in and he says, "Do you guys buy any
We're
stuff?"
not near a hospital, by the way.
Yeah, we're nowhere near a hospital. He said, "Well, I've got some stuff out in my car." And I'm thinking, it's odd. I wonder what he's got. Maybe he's got some good Martins and Taylors, and who knows? You never know. You never know what's going to come through the door. So I said, "Yeah, I'll come out and take a look." So follow him out to his car. He opens up this tailgate of this Range Rover, and sitting out in this tailgate of this Range Rover was a big bag of white powder with a Janis Joplin record next to it, and a little lunch-sized baggie, a smaller-sized baggie with some white powder with a Jimi Hendrix record next to it. And he sits on that gate just real proud of what he's got, and he points at it. And I'm like, what is going on here? And he said, well, I used to be a photographer, and one of the ways I'd make payment is I'd ask for drugs. And this is cocaine that belonged to Janis Joplin, and this is cocaine that belonged to Jimi Hendrix. And I've been saving it all these years, thought it might have some star power to it, you know? And I thought, this has got to be a setup. So I'm looking over my shoulder in the parking lot, and we had 2 or 3 employees at the counter that were also looking out there trying to figure out what was going on. This was the strangest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I said, we don't really buy that kind of stuff. And he said, well, do you know who would? And so, you know, I was sitting here thinking, yeah, vintage stock, they buy records, you got the records, they might be interested in the drugs too, so you might try them. So what I wish I had followed them over there and seen the guy at vintage stock when the guy comes in and says, hey, I hear you guys might be buying star drugs.
I bet vintage stock called the cops.
Probably did. You know, you just never know what's going to come through the door. I mean,
yeah. There's other nefarious things too. There was one instance, like I used to work at a different music store before I was here, and one day a guy came in, and right as we opened, like 9 a.m. right as we opened, he said, "Hey, I bought a guitar here a year or so ago, and it's fairly uncommon. It was a Heritage 535. Back then, you didn't see them as often. It got stolen out of my car last night, and my pedal board and everything, and I need the serial number to go file a police report." So we pull up his ticket, and we get him his serial number. He's like, great. He runs out the door to go file his police report. Like 10 minutes later, a gal walks in the door with a Heritage guitar case. And I was not privy to this, and I'm just like going through the motions of starting the day. And my boss walks over to me. Well, they were trying to sell it, so they're like, "Hey, you sell us?" And they're like, "Yeah, we buy stuff." And he had just talked to the guy. He just looked at the serial number, and he knew it was the same guitar. And he hands me a little note that says, "Hot stall." So I'm going through the motions. When you come in here to sell us stuff, we usually look on Reverb for comps. That's the best source now. So we're looking on Reverb. I'm showing her what they're selling for. Like, oh yeah, this is a great guitar. They're bringing $2,000, and we would be interested. Blah blah blah. And I'm trying to hem haul around, and it was to the good credit of it's probably Nichols Hills PD, honestly, because it was like close to where it was. But anyway, the police department was there within minutes. So like by the time I'm still talking, I was able to stall, and they left in handcuffs, and we got the dude's stuff back. Literally, within 10 minutes of him coming in. So that was really cool. Doesn't always happen that way, but
we're fortunate enough having 3 stores here in town that sometimes somebody tries to steal something from one store and then brings it to us.
That has happened too.
Where somebody's gone, and then we've got a call from Oklahoma City from Larsen.
Well, sometimes they don't even know. Like there was that guy. There was a guy a little while back that stole a violin from our Larsen showroom. And he comes walking in here
straight over here,
like a $4,000 violin in his hand, not in the case. Not like, hey,
still got our tags hanging on.
He comes in and he was like, "Yeah, this is my sister's, and we want to sell it." And like, I'm looking at it in my system. I'm like, this says it's still in stock at our Larsen store.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, you obviously took this from our other store. I'm not giving it back to you. And he just left. But we got our property back. But things like that happen.
I'll tell you one of my all-time favorite stories though. So we were hiring this for this position. This guy named Taylor comes to interview. So he worked at OKC Music and Sound. So he comes to interview with us, and I like the guy. He's great. I think it's going to work. So I'm kind of giving him a tour of the store here. You know this guy, Taylor?
Yeah, I've met him.
Yeah.
I remember this exact story.
So we're walking through the store, and I'm like, yeah, this is a done deal. We're going to wrap this up. So I'm touring him through the store, and we have these guitar racks, upright racks that hold 4 guitars on each side. And as we're coming around the corner, Taylor clips one with his shoulder, and like 4 guitars hit the ground. It was awesome. It was a great first impression, and you know what? We hired him anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, things happen.
Yeah.
Guitar stands are precarious.
They are, for sure. It can happen to the best of us.
Yeah. No, the things happen. I mean, I should have thought about this more before we started talking about it, but like there's got to be, back in the day, this was probably before your time here too, but I've heard stories of like in the 80s, They used to set up targets and shoot 22 pistols in the store.
It was before my time, but 80s were a wild time.
The 80s were a wild time. But like if there were no customers and they were just hanging out, they used to like shoot guns in this showroom.
Thank God, so I've been here for about 25 years, and even when I started here, there wasn't near as much foot traffic as we have now, and we would sit and play chess at the counter just waiting for customers to come
exciting.
in. So, man, I could never go back to that. I love our store now. I love the customers coming in here. I love having enough stuff in here that people want to come in and see what's new every day. So
yeah. But anyway, those are just some fun stories. Again, there's probably lots of other crazy ones.
We could create volumes and volumes of this stuff.
I mean,
documented
not even necessarily that have happened in the stores, but these are some of the things that happen in the stores. But like I've heard like a bunch of crazy NAMM stories from back in the day. But like the music industry can be pretty wild, and it used to be even more wild. I'll tell you. But yeah, no, fun stuff happens. Sometimes we chase down people stealing guitars, and sometimes we get offered drugs.
Mm-hmm. So come be a part of it. Come join us here.